How would you feel if I told you we were being ethnically cleansed and religiously cleansed and culturally cleansed, but it was being done in secret so that we couldn't openly oppose it? It's a bit like in America. They have Michelle Wu. She had her little crony party, but whites were not invited. Now, she did that openly to draw criticism, but the party went ahead anyway. So what does that tell you? These people are not ashamed of what they're doing. And when I say these people, I'm not saying the Chinese. Understand, the Chinese nation, Chinese culture was demolished and completely dissolved and destroyed by the Communist Party. This yellow flag here, this is the actual traditional cultural symbology. This is the original Chinese flag, with a yellow background, a red sun, and the dragon signifying the Chinese yellow emperor. But you've never seen it. You didn't know that this was the Chinese flag. Neither did I. I had to do a lot of work in order to discover that this should be what the Chinese flag looks like. So ask yourself, why would they get rid of their own nation? Why would they destroy their own culture and national symbology so that they could replace it with a foreign European symbology of communism? This, Chinese communism, isn't what I'm going to call it. And they are up against the British Empire, which obviously isn't a thing anymore. But in the eyes of the Chinese communist, the British Empire is the white people of Britain, America, Canada, and Australia, and all the territories that they are in control of. So why do they wish to get rid of us? Well, it's nothing personal, you understand, the same as it was nothing personal with the Chinese traditional culture. They don't recognise these people as individuals, and they don't recognise these cultures as anything of value. They just see them as enemies, like terrorists, if you like, or criminals, and that's the reason they need to get rid of them. And how they make the delineation, how they make the distinction between friend and enemy is this. If you are a communist and you are of Chinese genetics, of Chinese blood, then you're a friend. And if you are not of Chinese blood and you are not a Chinese communist, then you are an enemy. And they want to get rid of all their enemies and take all the land off the enemies and give it back to the Chinese Communist Party. Obviously it didn't have it in the first place, but they don't see it that way. They see it as their right to go up against everybody else in the world, all other nations, all other individuals, all other people, all other politics. They see it as their right to kill and steal from all those people, including you and your family and me and my family. And they know they're not going to be able to do this if they operate honestly and openly, the way that Western politics works. We have speeches and we have debates and we have all our stuff televised so that people can see what's going on and make a decision for themselves. No, that's not how they work. They don't want you to have a decision for yourself. You are just a termite. You're part of the nest, and that's exactly why the traditional Chinese culture was rubbed out. Because the traditional Chinese people didn't like communism. Understand that. Traditional Chinese culture was never communist, and they had their own ways. In fact, they had different states, so even within their own country, they had various different politics and different ways of life that all coexisted peacefully and happily alongside each other. A bit like when you think of Taiwan today. The Taiwanese are genetically Chinese. They are literally by blood and flesh Chinese. But they're Democrats. They don't believe in the communism. And then finally we come to the holy men of the world, Muslims, Christians, and specifically at the moment, Jews. Why would the Chinese communists want to wipe out Muslims, Christians, and Jews? It's because their entire ideology is anti-God. They think that anyone who has a belief in a God is evil, and by extension the British Empire, the American country, the Australian country, and the Canadian countries are all split-offs from the British Empire, which is done in the name of Holy God, the same as America, in God we trust. So, in conclusion, dear ladies, gents and Pikachus, the reason you don't know about this happening, and the reason that the original traditional Chinese didn't know about this happening, is because the communists are well aware, they are small in number, and they don't have a lot of power. So the way that they like to work is under the table. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they manipulate, they propagandize, and they bribe. And that's how they take control of individuals one at a time. They convert them into communist termites, and then the entire nest of communist termites will go against the next individual and the next individual. And in a set amount of time, which is quite a long time, it's been thousands of years since they've been doing this, but at the moment, now, they are quite close to completing their mission, and that mission is this: ethnically cleansing the entire world, politically cleansing the entire world, removing the freedoms and the power and the sovereignty from every single individual, religion, politic and nation, so that they can all be replaced by Chinese communist members. So that's the conclusion, ladies and gents. If you want your freedom, I suggest you listen to this and you act now, and you make sure we block out the fascists, which are the Chinese Communist Party. So I hope you enjoyed this, you found it fun to listen to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Bye bye bye.